At the beginning of standard 14 here, we're going to talk about function and function notation. So we're going to have an equation that would look something like y equals 2x or something like that. What we're going to do is we're going to replace this y, place the y with this function notation. We read that function notation as f of x. So the function when x is something. This just means, I want you to find, this is just me showing you the value of the y coordinate when x is a number. So we're talking here as like an x comma y. But y is being replaced with this f of x. Okay, so it looks kind of crazy. It's not as crazy as you think. So we're going to need a calculator today because a calculator is really going to help us figure out what we're doing. And it'll help us do all of the hard thinking. Okay, so this first one. Remember, this is just y, so don't let this get all crazy and up in your head. Okay, we're just looking at this side right here when x is -7. We're going to take this -7 and we're going to plug that -7 in for x, which is something that we've done before. Okay, so let's not worry about this side over here. Let's just stay right here. 0.3x, so x is going to be replaced with -7, and then it was a minus 1.2. Okay, now we had to figure that out. We don't really have to figure that out, we just have to type that into our calculator. 0.3 times -7 minus 1.2. And if you're using one of the calculators in my classroom, or if you have a calculator that looks something like this, okay, we're going to go ahead and just type it in. So 0.3 -7 minus 1.2. Just go ahead and type the whole thing in and get your answer. -3.3. So my y value is -3.3. So my x value is -7, my y value is -3.3. Okay, so my y value would be -3.3. But because we're doing function notation, we're not writing y, we're replacing y, we're replacing the y with f of x. So f of x equals -3.3. And then we're going to take that even further, and x was actually, remember we replaced x. So my function, when I put in -7, gave me the answer of -3.3. And we circle. Okay, so far that's probably a little bit confusing, and that's okay. We're going to try again. Okay, so I'm trying to figure out my function, which is just the y value for an x comma y. We're going to plug in 10 for the x. So 2 times 10, add 9. 2 times 10 is 20, plus 9, 29. Now 29 is equal to my function. So here's what I did. I took my function and I plugged in 10. So my function at 10, my function at 10. This is not times 10. That's not what this means. This right here is not multiplication. It's not multiply, so I don't have to solve it. That is the answer. Done. Moving on to the next one. Okay, my x value is -9. So right from the get-go this time, I'm going to go ahead and put -9 in for that x value. So my function, this time it's not a function named f, it's a function named h. That doesn't really matter. You can name your function anything you want. h -9 equals. So my function at -9 is equal to, now let's plug this in, 4 times -9 minus 4. Okay, this one we might need a calculator for. For parentheses, the parenthesis is right above the number 8, so parentheses, -9, parenthesis, minus 4. You could also just do times. That just means times as well. -40. So my function, when I plugged in -9, is 40. Oh, -40. Sorry, -40. That's it. Done. Last one. Oh no, there's fractions. That's okay, because we're just going to use our calculator. So we're going to put x in for both of these. And we're using our calculator, not our phone, because your phone is not going to be able to deal with these fractions like a calculator would. So g of 4 equals -2/5 times 4 plus 1/10. Now when you type this into the calculator, you're going to type in -2 divided by 5 parentheses 4 plus 1 divided by 10. So if you need help dividing or putting those fractions into the calculator, you might want that just as a little note to yourself. So -2 divided by 5 times 4 plus, and then 1 divided by 10. Which is -1.5. Now, typically in a normal year, we would make you put that into a fraction, which is actually really easy to do on the calculator, but it's okay for now if you just leave it as a decimal. But to get it into a fraction, all you have to do is hit this button that says second to ND, and then this button right here. You can't really see it that well on the video, but it says F, and then some arrows, and then D, which just means you're going to take that decimal or that fraction and convert it to the other. Okay, so let's go back here. G of 4 is equal to -1.5, but as a fraction, so I hit second, then hit this button right here, fraction to decimal, and then hit equals. So this is -1 and 1/2. Now you might have known that just from the decimal. And that is level 1 for standard 14.